Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the dreaded P word, practice. First, I want to just thank you guys for tuning into the channel and hitting subscribe, liking the videos, and sending nice comments. It means a lot. Okay, so let's talk about maybe the most fundamental part of being a musician, and that is practicing your instrument. I wanted to share with you guys some strategies that have helped me out in my own personal practice routines. It's just so essential to develop these good habits early on. But even if you haven't been practicing, it's never too late to start. Okay, so first thing is, set some realistic expectations on yourself. A lot of people pick up a guitar and expect that they'll be able to play like Eddie Van Halen with just a few months of practice. Not realistic. It's gonna take a lot of hard work and dedication to get that good. Just be honest with yourself. Set manageable goals. Some people only want to be able to play tunes at parties or campfire jam sessions, and that's awesome too. Other people want to play classical guitar concertos or become a studio musician in Nashville. Whatever your goal is, you need to set a realistic goal for yourself. It's easy to get lost in a wormhole of books and YouTube videos and all of this other stuff. So just putting that expectation on yourself can help kind of narrow down and focus your practice session. Okay, second thing, get organized. You need to set up a routine and stick to it. Now, this is super important. There's a difference between practicing and getting better at your instrument and just playing for fun and having fun jamming on the tunes. First step in organizing your practice routine is realizing that you need to work on the practicing part. The jamming stuff is like the fun dessert at the end of the meal that you get to do after your practice, so that doesn't count. For me, I try to set up in my mind like a pie graph. Probably a third of it will be warm-up routine, scales, technical exercises, chord voicings, inversions, speed drills, arpeggios, any kind of stuff like that to get the fingers moving with a metronome, and that's like a technical part of my practice. The next third is generally repertoire, so learning new songs. Depending on the week and what I've got going on, that kind of switches sometimes. Sometimes it might be learning a bunch of important songs for a gig that's coming up. Other times it's working on jazz standards, just learning more tunes on the list. The last third of my practice is kind of devoted to having fun. Writing songs, exploring, having fun on the instrument. All this is kind of subjective to the day and time that I'm working, but this is kind of a general overview of what works for me. A lot of people have found success using a practice journal where they just log in how much they practice each day, maybe a few short notes on what they practiced for how long, and got their practice sessions organized that way. I have done that over the years a few times, and it's been really helpful. For some people, the journals just don't work, and it's more of a stream of consciousness thing, and that's okay too. Practicing is a really personal kind of thing. You just have to find what works for you. Third point, have fun. A lot of times I've gotten into this habit of thinking, I have to practice today. Oh man, I gotta practice. But really the mindset should be, I get to practice today. I mean, playing guitar is one of the coolest things ever. So we really need to get in that mindset of making practice a fun time, even if we're just working on technical little exercises. Think about the bigger picture of what music really means to you and why you're doing this. Sometimes that helps me out, flipping that mindset into a positive direction. Fourth thing is, don't judge yourself too harshly. A lot of times growth in our own playing is very hard to see objectively because we're growing at slow rates over time. And many times I'll go like a whole year and I'll think, man, I sound exactly the same. I'm not making any progress, even though I'm working really hard. But then I go back a couple years and I listen to recordings of myself from a year or two ago, and it's pretty shocking. I can tell a big difference. Don't criticize yourself too hardly for that. And most importantly, don't compare yourself to other musicians. It's really hard, in the age of child prodigy YouTube video players that are just mind-blowing. This is something that I've struggled with a lot in my life, is comparing myself to other players and judging myself based on that. But really, music isn't a competition. It shouldn't be a sport, even though sometimes we can get dragged into that. Music isn't a sport. It's not a competition. just have fun and think again about the big picture of why we're doing this. The fifth point, and probably the most important thing I want to tell you guys, is that you need to practice every day. If you want to get better, you need to practice every day. This doesn't matter if you're a beginning player or a really advanced player. If you're just starting out, you need to build stamina, you need to build up calluses, develop good techniques. It's going to take a lot of work, and that requires practicing every day. If you're a pro player and you want to get better at improvising or develop your ear, it's not going to happen if you only practice once a week, okay? Say you practice once a week for 5 hours, you're not going to get the same benefits that you would if you spread those 5 hours out over the week. There's a lot of research that supports this theory. It's the repetitions that we need to get better. So make yourself accountable. Set up a routine, stick to it, think about your goals, have some fun, take your time, enjoy the journey. It's going to be fun. Don't worry about what other people are doing, just concentrate on yourself. At the end of the day, that's how you're going to make vast improvements in your playing. All right, thanks again, guys, for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing to the channel. If you need ideas on what to practice, here's a link to my guitar tutorials playlist where you can check out all kinds of stuff. Picking warm-up drills, technical arpeggio studies, chord shapes, song demos, and tutorials. All kinds of fun stuff. Check out the playlist. If you guys are getting some good out of these videos, please hit subscribe and support the channel. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Practice.